Hello there, Mr. Sutton here, bringing you the Pre-Cal Honors 2-8 Part 2 homework solutions on binomial expansion. For this one, we have 2x minus 1 to the fourth power. To get a shortcut formula for that, I need Pascal's triangle down to level 4. So we have got level 0, level 1 is 1 and 1, level 2 is 1, 2 and 1, level 3 is 1, 3, 3 and 1, and finally level 4th we have 1, 4, 6 because of 3 plus 3, 4, and 1. These are the coefficients of a and b, so we'll start with 1, a to the 4th, b to the 0, or just simply a to the 4th, plus 4, a cubed, b to the 1st, plus 6, a squared, b squared, plus 4, a to the 1st, b to the 3rd, plus 1, a to the 0, which we don't have to write, b to the 4th. Plugging things in now, we've got 2x going in for the a's. Negative 1 is our b value. So we have 2x quantity to the 4th plus 4 times 2x cubed times negative 1 plus 6 times 2x squared times negative 1 squared plus 4 times 2x times negative 1 cubed plus negative 1 to the 4th. Whole lot of simplifying happens at this point. 2x to the 4th, we have to raise both of these things to the 4th, so that's 16x to the 4th. Next, we have a 4 and a negative 1, and also this 2 is going to become an 8 after we cube it. So that's a grand total of negative 32x to the 3rd. Next here, this negative 1 squared is just 1, so we can kind of forget about it. 2 squared is 4, times 6 is 24, so that's 24x squared for that middle term. And for this next one, negative 1 cubed is just negative 1. So this is negative 4 times 2x, or negative 8x. And finally, negative 1 to the 4th just comes out to positive 1. For this problem, we're trying to raise this binomial to the 4th power. To get a shortcut formula for this, let me take Pascal's formula, Pascal's triangle, I should say, down to level 4. So we've got level 0. Level 1 is 1 and 1. Level 2 is 1, 2 and 1. At level 3, we've got 1, 3, 3 and 1. And we're only doing this because we have to build each level based on the ones before it. So finally, we've got level 4. We've got 1, 4, 6, 4, and 1. These are the coefficients of our a's and b's. So we've got 1a to the 4th. That's really 1a 4th, b to the 0, but we don't have to write b to the 0 because that's just 1. Next, we have 4a cubed, b to the 1st, plus 6a squared, b squared, plus 4, a to the 1st, b to the 3rd, plus 1, a to the 0, b to the 4th, so just b to the 4th. For our a term, we've got this y to the 4th. The b term in this case is the 2x, so we have y to the 4th to the 4th, plus 4 times y to the 4th cubed times 2x, plus 6 times y to the 4th squared times 2x squared, plus 4 y to the 4th, 2x to the 3rd, and finally we have 2x to the 4th out there. Going through and cleaning things up a little bit, these exponents here, raising one power to another, we have to multiply. So this is actually y to the 16. Next we have 4 times 2x giving us 8x, and this will be y to the 12th. Next, we have 2x to the 2nd, so that's really 4x squared, times a 6 gives me 24x squared, and then we have a y to the 8th, 4 times 2 there. Next, we've got, let's see here, 2x cubed is really 8x cubed, times 4 is 32x cubed, and that y to the 4th is along for the ride. And finally, 4x to the 4th, 2 to the 4th is 16, and then we have x to the 4th to go with that. On this rather insane problem, we're raising a binomial to the 5th power. This is about as far as we go on these, although we could go further. So for this, we're going to need 5 levels of Pascal's triangle to get a shortcut formula. The alternative is much, much worse. So we've got level 0. Level 1 is 1 and 1. Level 2 is 1, 2 and 1. At level 3, we've got 1, 3, 3 and 1. And then level 4, we've got 1, 4, 6, 4, and 1. Now down at level 5, we start with a 1, of course, and then we've got 1 plus 4 is 5, 4 plus 6 is 10. We have another 10 right after that, followed by a 5 and a 1. So nice symmetrical pattern here. So now we've got the coefficients of the AB formula that we're going to use. This one is really 1a to the 5th power, b to the 0, which we don't have to write, plus 5a to the 4th, b to the 1st, plus 10a cubed b squared, plus 10a squared b cubed, plus 5a to the 1st, b to the 4th, and then we have 1 a to the 0, which we don't have to write, b to the 5th. So for the a values, we've got y. For the b values, we've got x squared. So we've got y to the 5th plus 5y to the 5th x squared plus 10y to the 3rd x squared squared, which is kind of weird. Next, we have 10y to the 2nd and then x squared cubed. Next, we have 5y x to the 2nd to the 4th. And finally, we have x squared to the 5th. A lot of simplifying now with these exponents. So this first one's pretty easy. That's just y to the 5th. After that, though, we have 5x squared y to the 4th. You don't have to write them in alphabetical order, but it's usually good practice to do so. Next, we've got 10x squared squared. We multiply, so that's x to the 4th and then y cubed. After that, we have, let's see here, this is x to the 6th, so 10x to the 6th y squared. Then we've got, let's see, this is x to the 8th, so 5x to the 8th times y. And then last but not least, we have x to the 2 times 5, so x to the 10th. For number 4, we're trying to expand x minus 8 to the 4th power, so we'll need 4 rows of Pascal's triangle. Here's row 0, row 1. Row 2, we've got 1, 2, 1. Row 3, that's 1, 3, 3, 1. Row 4, we've got 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. And let's write out the formula using those as our coefficients now. So this will be 1a to the 4th, 4a cubed b, plus 6a squared b squared, plus 4ab cubed, and plus 1b to the 4th. For a, we've got x. And then for b, we're plugging in negative 8. Let's go through term by term now. So this is x to the 4th minus 32x to the 3rd. And then let's see, what's 6 times negative 8 squared? Calculator time. So that's going to come out to 384, and this will be an x squared. Next, we've got 4 times negative 8 cubed, again, back to the calculator. And that's going to come out to negative 2,048, and we have an x along with that. And then finally, we need negative 8 to the 4th. One more trip to the calculator. And that's going to give us about, 4,096, give or take. So there we are. For number 5, we're trying to expand this quartic binomial. So we'll use 4 layers of Pascal's triangle. Here's row 0 and row 1. Row 2, we've got 1, 2, 1. Row 3, we've got 1, 3, 3, 1. And finally, the row 4 that we need, 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. Right now to our formula with a's and b's. This is 1a to the 4th, 4a cubed b, 6a squared b squared, 4ab cubed, and then 1b to the 4th. Instead of a, we've actually got 2x from this binomial, and instead of b, we're going to plug in y. So let's go through term by term and simplify. The first term, this is going to be 16x to the 4th. We have to raise each separately to the 4th. And then over here, let's see, this is going to really be 8x cubed times a 4 and a y. So that's 32x cubed y. Next, we've got, let's see, 2x squared is really 4x squared times 6 is 24x squared with a y squared after it. Next, we've got 8x y cubed. And finally, this is just y to the 4th. For number 6, kind of the final boss battle here, we're doing a binomial to the 5th power, so we need 5 levels of Pascal's triangle for this. Here's row 0, row 1, row 2, we've got 1, 2, 1. Row 3, we've got 1, 3, 3, 1. Row 4, that's 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. And finally, row 5 that we actually need, that's 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. Let's write out our formula with the A's and the B's. We've got 1a to the 5th. This will be 5a to the 4th b plus 10a to the 3rd b squared plus 10a to the 2nd b to the 3rd plus 5ab to the 4th and finally 1b to the 5th. Instead of a, I've actually got x, and I'll plug in 2 for b. Let's see what all this comes out to now. So from left to right, we've got x to the 5th. This will be 10x to the 4th. This will be, let's see, 40x to the 3rd. And then here we've got 10 times 8, so 80x squared. Next, this is 5 times 16, so another 80 with an x after it. And finally, 2 to the 5th is 32.